What up, what up? This is Ace OG, back with another topic, back with another video. So the title of this video is going to be why Gen Zers can't move out the house. So admin notes, thanks again to all the subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing this video out, do leverage, debate yourselves. So let's get into it. So why Gen Zers cannot move out the house? So I've done some research. I've been doing some research for a while now when it comes to this particular topic, because if anybody has gone back into my previous videos, I have, made videos where I've told young men to stop making excuses, especially the young, right? Get out there, do the work, put the work in, don't take no for an answer, you know what I'm saying? Be manly, be masculine, all these things, you know what I'm saying? Like pretty much get out there and get it, right? And the economy right now is contradictory to that particular philosophy that I've been pushing out there, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that I still don't believe in that. I'm just saying, like, as I'm doing my research, I'm really figuring out that Gen Z is really really on the short end of the stick here when it comes to building wealth, and I mean literally just to live, right? I mean it's really crazy, and I think at one point I was blinded to this fact because of my generation being Gen X. And then, of course, the baby boomers, which are my parents, right? My parents' age. And, life was a little bit different back then. And, being able to put a lot of hard work in to build a life for yourself was a lot easier than Gen Zers and even millennials. Millennials are catching hell, too. They really are. So I'm going to give a couple statistics and talk about a couple things when it comes to this particular topic. So let's go with housing, as far as like buying a home. So long story short with that, some of the statistics that I read up on this says that, baby boomers and the first part of Gen Xers, meaning that Gen Xers, they were born like I want to say Gen X started in the mid 60s, I believe. That started the generation of Gen Xers. Folks that lived, they were born during that time frame and earlier. When you compare the medium cost of a house versus the medium income in America, if a person that was a baby boomer or a Gen Xer, if they saved 100% of their income and put it towards a house for 2 years to 4 years, they could pay their whole house off easily. I think they said the medium cost of a house back in the days was like $110,000, right? That's almost unheard of during this time. But but that's really was the median income when it comes to buying a home during that time. Now, fast forward to 2022, and you have millennials, right? Millennials have reached like their mid 30s in 2022. When you compare the cost of what the median cost of a house versus their median income, it would take a millennial 6 to 8 years for them to pay a house off. Saying that, basically pretty much saying that they wouldn't spend anything else other than putting 100% of their income towards a house. I mean, that's triple of what a baby boomer and a Gen Xer would have to use his income to pay a house off. And that's a problem, because when you look at debt to income ratio, I think that's what you call it. And, basically, putting apples to oranges and saying that, look, I make this much money, so I should be able to afford this amount of a house. That's the reason why a lot of millennials cannot afford to buy a home, because the income is just not there. It just really isn't, right? Inflation, of course, is a really big thing when it comes to food costs, when it comes to, paying for gas. I think one of the statistics that I saw, people are paying quadruple the price of gas versus what they were paying for gas during the baby boomer age, right? Just normal expenses that you would think of that you have to pay for in order to live comfortably. It's just not affordable anymore. It's really crazy. This is year 2024, so I want to give folks context when it comes to what I'm talking about here. But it's just a really, really hard situation right now. Now, my oldest son is 19. You know, he's, of course, he hasn't left home yet. He's working, right? You know, trying to do some trade school and all these other things. But, you know, even when he does that, when he finishes, I would hope that he would be able to, you know, put himself in a position to where he could move out the house. And I'm definitely going to push towards that. But, you know, when you factor in like how much money he have to make in the area that I live in for him to live comfortably by himself, he's going to be in the hood. There's just no way, really. I mean, like, and I don't live in like a really extremely expensive area, but I mean, there is some money out there. I ain't gonna front about that, right? But when it comes to like, you know, just a single person with no kids, no spouse, taking care of themselves, like it's ridiculous. I was talking to this one gentleman yesterday when I was downtown. He was from Boston. Moved down here. I think his daughter has a event. She's running a event planning business, and she has a hard brick building that she works in. And he was around, and I bumped into him. So he was saying that he was talking to another person that he knows that still lives in Boston, and he said that a single man in Boston City, if he wants to live comfortably, you know, he has his own apartment, he has a car, he's paying for insurance, he's paying for his all other things. He would have to make, at a minimum, $135,000 a year to take care of himself. That's not, like I said, that's not including anybody else. No kids, no spouse, no nothing. By himself, $135,000 a year. Now, of course, you know, you have a lot of folks that would choose not to live in a big city to begin with. Because I'm pretty sure living in D.C. here is not an easy task. The building I work in right now in D.C., you have to understand, D.C. is built kind of weird. So you have a lot of office buildings in D.C. that used to be old buildings. And then you have a lot of office buildings that are attached to apartments, right? Not to say the apartment is, you can walk from the apartment and still be in the apartment walking to the building, but like there's some degree of separation. But there's a lot of buildings you were working in an office where you can look out the window and you literally looking into somebody's apartment. It's kind of crazy. So my building is kind of situated like that. And the people that live in those apartments that's right beside my building where I work at, they're paying $5,000 a month in rent. Think about that now, $5,000 a month. Now, let's put this thing in some context here. So, DC is the land of contracting. I kind of like, you know, I say that because, you know, you have a military complex here, government complex here. You know, it's a lot of government around here, right? So you have a lot of lawyers that have to come here to deal with contracts and all these other things. You have some lawyers that will never see a courtroom. All they're doing literally all day is just auditing contracts, looking at contracts, building contracts, all these other things. And starting off, some of these folks are making like $130,000, $140,000 a year out of college. They're making that. Not even passing the bar. They didn't even have to pass the bar, and they're still making $140,000 a year off rip just because they work in DC. And their contract lawyers basically like working contracts. So you have that demographic and some other folks working, you know, jobs that pay a lot in DC that are able to afford a $5,000 a month apartment. The average person not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Gen Z is y'all are really behind the 8 ball when it comes to building wealth and trying to get ahead. Y'all really are. I really believe, and I hope this is not the case, but I really believe that there's going to be a significant amount of Gen Zers that are not going to leave the house. Like, seriously. Now, think about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you're a guy right now, young guy, between the age of 18 to 25 right now, and you're living home right now. And, you know, of course, hopefully you're working, you know, at least a job to contribute to the house and all these other things, right? But you live with your parents, you know, for all intended purposes. Trust and believe, you got a lot of peers that are not able to live in their parents' house, and they're struggling right now. You know what I'm saying? So if you're one of those persons right now, they're between the ages of 18 and 25 right now, and you're actually living at home, and you know your parents are literally paying for, you know, their rent or their mortgage and all these other things, and basically they're keeping a roof over your head and keeping food in your mouth, all these other things. You should make life for them extremely easy. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be rocking the boat at all, because it's hard out here, it really is. So to wrap the video up, what is the solution to this? Like, how do Gen Zers get ahead in order for them to be able to be in a position that I'm in right now, being a Gen Xer? Now, of course, let's put a caveat here now. Now, baby boomers and Gen Xers like myself, the only reason why we're more well off than y'all is because, you know, it all depends on if we put the work in. I put the work in, right? I made sure that, you know, that I was working hard, I was saving money, investing money, all these other things. Now, Gen Xers and baby boomers that did not put the work in, they're hurting too. You know what I'm saying? But I think work ethic when it comes to those two generations was very different than how Gen Zers and millennials are. It really is. Like, it was frowned upon for you not to be a hard worker. It wasn't an option for you to be lazy when it came to that generation. Like, you really was going to be put in a really bad position if you was lazy. So I think work ethic alone helped push Gen Xers and baby boomers to the point they are at right now. The ones that didn't get to that point, they are an anomaly. They're not normal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Gen Xers and baby boomers are all rich. I'm just saying, like, if you're a person that you're literally extremely struggling right now and you're a Gen Xer or a baby boomer, something's not right about that. It really isn't. But anyways, how do we fix this? And how do Gen Zers get past this? One suggestion I would say for you is to join the military. Joining the military right now is a cheat code for y'all. I promise you it is. Because you're going to get housing provided for you. You're going to get food provided for you. Medical care, dental care. You know, if you have dependents, they're going to get paid for. All these other things. There's no war going on right now. I'm not saying that you should join the military because of war going on or not war going on. But if you are an able-bodied person right now and you're young, you're in your 20s, and you're struggling to pay bills, you're struggling to figure out life, join the military. Do 4 years, you know, whatever contract, whatever amount of years your contract says. If you don't want to stay in, get out, right? Then you'll have, you know, some benefits owed to you. You might be able to have some medical benefits owed to you. All these other things, right? Don't go to college. Don't put yourself in a position to where you're taking on college debt. Do a trade, right? You know, be a plumber, be an electrician, all these other things. You know what I'm saying? Be a freelancer. Make your own money, start a business, all these other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, either try yourself to be self-sufficient or to put yourself in a position to where you can join the military and actually be self-sufficient after you leave the military, right? These are the only fixes that I can really think of right now when it comes to Gen Zers getting over the hump when it comes to these things. Because 9-to-5 jobs right now are not really paying a lot. They're really not, right? And I could probably go into the situation when it comes to like going $50 other things, but I may address that in another video because I still believe in a guy taking care of everything. I really believe that. However, I understand Gen Zers are in a bad position right now when it comes to economics. So I totally get that. We'll get into another video about that at a later date. But anyways, Gen Zers are having a hard time leaving the house. They may never leave the house. I hope that's not the case, but the only way you're gonna be able to avoid being in your house forever is to put the work in and keep pushing, especially when it comes to being a man, especially when it comes to being a guy. Don't take no for an answer, you know what I'm saying? I understand that the economy is effed up right now. I totally get that, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what's the alternative? You sit on your ass at your parents' house and not doing anything? Put the work in, push, keep pushing. And I promise you, your hard work is gonna pay off, all right? So you want me to discuss a video, discuss a topic or a subject that's beneficial to the channel, email me at finditfitnessfolk@gmail.com. My email address is in the description below. This is Ace OG signing out. I'm gone.